Welcome to the Wise Owl. In this video episode, we will look at survival in the Siachen Glacier, the highest battlefield in the world. The Indian Army has been deployed permanently in the Siachen Glacier area, a battlefield whose altitude ranges from 16,000 feet to 22,000 feet for the last 35 years. And that is a testimonial to the Indian soldiers' resilience, resolve, grit and determination. It's not easy to survive at those altitudes unless you are very disciplined, well trained and have the will to do. You will see in this video how troops are trained, inducted, maintained, sustained with an all-out integrated effort of the Indian Army and the Indian Air Force.
Almost 900 soldiers, including 55 officers and 35 junior commissioned officers, have died in the icy heights of the Siachen Glacier ever since it was occupied by the Indian Army in 1984. Most have fallen to the effects of weather and treacherous terrain. To fire every bullet in the highest battlefield of the world is so extremely strenuous and risky that once a post is lost, its recovery can cost 10 times as much by way of lives. So was the story of Qaid Post, renamed Bana Post after it was recaptured by Subedar Bana Singh and his men of 8 Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry on 26 June 1987. Bana Post is at a height of 22,000 feet and it takes up to 20 days of trek to reach it from the nearest roadhead 70 kilometers away. Every action in the glacier brings forth stories of valor, grit and courage. So far, 26 soldiers have been decorated with awards such as the Paramveer Chakra, 5 Mahavir Chakras and 20 Veer Chakras, with 9 amongst them awarded posthumously. There have been a number of Kirti Chakra, Shaurya Chakra, Sena Medal and Vayu Sena Medal recipients. While bureaucrats posted in Assam's capital Guwahati get 30% of their basic pay as hardship allowance per month, soldiers in Siachen get rupees 30,000 and officers get 42,500 as Siachen allowance. No bureaucrat serving in the Ministry of Defence has volunteered to visit any place beyond the Siachen base camp or Thois to see the conditions for himself. It would be a good idea to send young IAS probationers to second stage posts for a few days in the Siachen Glacier to get a feel for themselves and a short basic training capsule at the Siachen Battle School for pre-induction. It would do them a world of good. The Siachen Glacier is located in the East Karakoram Range in northern Ladakh. It runs for 76 kilometers and has a width of 3 kilometers. Army posts are located on the Saltoro Ridge, whose heights vary between 17,500 feet to about 25,000 feet, just 3,500 feet less than Mt Everest. This ridge overlooks Gilgit and Baltistan in Pakistan Occupied Kashmir. The highest post is Bana at 22,000 feet, followed by Pahalwan Post at 20,000 feet and Indra Kol. 102 Infantry Brigade, headquartered at Partapur near Thois, defends the glacier. The brigade is supported by artillery, air defense, engineers and other logistics elements. Ladakh scouts at Karu, Nubra, Leh and Partapur provide additional echelons. 5 infantry battalions man the area, going through various stages of deployment. Troops are deployed at approximately 75 locations in groups of 10 to 15 each. In the higher regions, they may spend only 90 days and not more in the extremely high altitude areas above 18,000 feet. The Siachen base camp caters for the northern and middle Siachen areas. The second base camp located at Thois caters to the southern glacier. What mountaineers do elsewhere as an expedition, soldiers deployed in the Siachen Glacier do as duty, trekking to their posts and spending 3 to 6 months above 16,000 feet. The base camp, located at 12,000 feet, is the launch pad for inducting troops into the Siachen Glacier. The Siachen Battle School, located there, provides pre-induction training, orientation, and acclimatization for fresh troops. The mountainous terrain in the Siachen area has sharp slopes, narrow ridges, lack of vegetation and trees. The soil is permafrost. The glacier is shifting all the time. Ice walls pose many problems for survival and operations. The glacier region has many crevasses, many of which get covered with fresh snow and have to be marked before they can be traversed. Crevasses also make use of snow scooters difficult. Special equipment and skills are required to negotiate crevasses. In case a soldier falls into a crevice, it poses challenges to recover him. Avalanches happen every year. The science of predicting avalanches has not yet been mastered, despite decades of effort by the Snow and Avalanche Study Establishment of the DRDO. The avalanche of 3 February 2016, when Havaldar Hanumanthappa and 10 of his comrades died, shows how deadly and unanticipated an avalanche can be. The terrain affects operations in many ways. Due to crevasses, soldiers have to stick to beaten tracks, often roped to each other. Avalanches have destroyed defenses, helipads, routes and communication equipment. Often posts have had to be relocated. Razor-sharp ridges pose problems on effect of artillery shelling, and deployment areas are limited. Special tools are required for constructing defenses. The lack of vegetation and local resources means survival depends on adequate logistics and supplies. Mobility is restricted. Lightweight and robust bridges are required to negotiate obstacles. Due to inadequate tracks and routes, for sidestepping, reinforcements, quick movement of supplies, operations are dependent on helicopters, which themselves are at the mercy of the weather. Climatic and weather conditions in the Siachen area are extreme. Average winter temperatures are minus 35 degrees centigrade and minus 20 degrees in the summers. Temperatures can go as low as minus 50 degrees Celsius. The temperature dips by 0.3 degrees Celsius for every additional increase in wind speed, leading to wind chill effect. Winds of up to 100 knots are not uncommon. Average winter snowfall is 35 feet. The climate and weather have a profound effect on operations. Heavy snowfall closes routes and beaten tracks, requiring effort to be committed for route opening. High volume of snow buries shelters. Rapid loss of heat leads to cold injuries. Low temperatures affect battery-operated equipment and weapons with moving parts. The accuracy of weapons is affected. Areas for training with troops are limited. Special training and skills gain importance. Helicopter and transport aircraft can operate only in fair weather, affecting airdrops and casualty evacuation. The effect of terrain, climate, and weather on soldiers is huge. The Battle of the Siachen Glacier is as much a battle of survival as it is of keeping the enemy away. Most casualties have occurred as a result of the elements rather than enemy action. The Army owes it to the doctors of the Army Medical Corps, which by now has a huge volume of data and analysis on the effects of high altitude areas and specialized medicine, for bringing down the casualty rates dramatically. The acclimatization schedule, prevention methods, protocols, and treatment of emergency cases have been developed so effectively that today the AMC's proprietary knowledge is being sought after by health experts worldwide. The DRDO has also done its bit to develop products to ameliorate the effects of high altitude and cold. The biggest danger is from high altitude pulmonary edema, in which fluids get accumulated in the lungs, and high altitude cerebral edema. These are the two main causes of deaths in the glacier. Frostbite, chilblains, snow blindness, cold burns, sunburn, solar dermatitis, and cold-related injuries occur mainly due to breach of discipline. Some other physical conditions like hypertension, memory loss, loss of body weight, psychological and physiological effects can afflict anyone. Acute mountain sickness, headaches, difficulty in breathing, sleeplessness are common. A word about personal gear of the soldiers. Soldiers are provided with special gear and equipment to survive in extreme conditions. These include special goggles for 100% ultraviolet rays protection and snow blindness, lightweight rucksack made of high-strength aluminum alloy. Each soldier carries about 25 kilos. Down jackets filled with soft duck or goose feathers with 4 layers of thermal clothing to protect against high-speed winds and blizzards. Lightweight gloves with thermal layers to withstand extreme temperatures. Ice axes with aluminum shafts for climbing ice walls. Soldiers also carry ropes, carabiners, and slings. Boots with crampons for better mobility on snow and ice. Boots weigh 4 kilos and crampons weigh 500 grams. 3 layers of special socks help soldiers withstand minus 50 degrees Celsius temperatures. Weapons and equipment include INSAS rifle, Avalanche victim detector, radio set, and extra batteries. Logistics is extremely complicated and a big challenge. Shelters, medical care, special equipment and clothing, providing fuel for warming and cooking, keeping equipment operational, providing food and water are the main logistic challenges in the Siachen Glacier. There is a recurring need for better, lighter, stronger shelters which are easy to clean and maintain, survivable in avalanches and heavy snow, with provision for heating, pressurization, and oxygenation. Medical advances and research to mitigate effects of high altitude and cold, treatment of affected cases in situ when casualties cannot be evacuated in time would always be welcome. Soldiers require approximately 4,500 calories of intake per day in high altitude areas. They also need variety in taste, quick to eat foods with longer shelf life, high calorific content and nutritional value, low salt, and so on. Many advances have been made with ready to eat meals and many other foods. One of the biggest problems is that the troops are used to their own cuisine and do not take easily to the taste of accelerated freeze-dried foods. Fresh supplies are out of the question due to limited helicopter effort and limited supplies of fuel for cooking at higher reaches. It is not easy to cook even in pressure cookers in high altitude areas. It would also be helpful to find an alternative to kerosene as fuel for heating and cooking to reduce weight and increase the effect. Helicopters provide the lifeline. The Indian Air Force units located at Leh, Thois and Srinagar provide the machines for maintenance of posts on the front line and casualty evacuation. 12 Wing at Chandigarh primarily undertakes airlifting of troops and supplies to Leh, Thois and advanced landing grounds like Daulat Beg Oldie, as well as airdropping of supplies using the latest transport aircraft like the C-17 Globemaster and C-130 Hercules. From the base camp, helicopters fly in and out throughout the year, providing the lifeline to soldiers on the posts. Flying at maximum permissible ceiling, often beyond their operating capabilities, they land at some of the world's highest helipads. The choppers never turn off their rotors on landing. They unload and load within a minute and take off again, making way for the next helicopter to repeat the feat. With lack of depth perception due to snow all around, low density air, and complexity in maneuvering, one mistake can be catastrophic. The Cheetah helicopter has now been reinforced with the advanced light helicopter Dhruv to provide support. Only experienced pilots with over 500 flying hours of experience are chosen for operations after 6 months of specialized training. Hats off to them.